Joe Rogan, you have taken 2 steps too far. How dare you, you shiny head son of a bitch, criticize video games? Fuck you. For those of you who don't know, warning, warning, Joe Rogan criticized video games. And this is news. Joe Rogan passes controversial remarks on video games. What the fuck, dog? Joe doesn't really understand, Ninja responds. My god! You don't get it, Joe. Guess you're not a gamer, huh? What the fuck? Joe, I thought you liked Quake. Hey, Joe, you may think I'm a loser in real life, but in the gaming world, you're the loser. Got him good, didn't I? Okay, for those of you who don't know, Joe Rogan is a podcast host. I think it's probably the most popular podcast host, I think at least. And I mean, I don't know how you even have a podcast in 2020 without pissing someone off every week. And today, I guess he pissed off the gaming community. This time, you pissed off the wrong crowd, Mr. Joe. How dare you? How dare you criticize video games? So what did Joe Rogan say? Well, let's check it out.
You know, and then they seek refuge in drugs or video games or something that stimulates them. And video games are a real problem. They're a real problem.
What?
You know why? Because they're fucking fun.
Addictive.
And you don't. Yeah. Well, I have a real problem with them. And you do them, and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere.
Right.
It's like you could do like martial arts, right? You could learn jujitsu. You get obsessed by jujitsu, and then 3 years later, you're like an elite jujitsu athlete. You're
What kind of beta martial arts take 3 years to become an elite? The f, dude?
You're entering in competitions. You're a purple belt.
You're moving up.
Yeah, you're doing well. You're thinking like, I might be able to open my own school one day.
You got confidence.
Yeah, if I have 100 students and those 100 students are paying me X amount of dollars per month.
It's almost like if you have like a stream or something like that with like 100 viewers and they like pay you X dollars. Why are you talking about jujitsu, man? Hey, man, you ever heard about I've been doing it wrong. Gaming money? Get the fuck out of here. I'm all about that jujitsu bread. I'm quitting YouTube right now. I could be making jujitsu money this whole time, and no one told me there was jujitsu money laying around everywhere.
I can make a living. Holy shit, I can have this would be amazing. And then you see your jujitsu school, and your jujitsu instructor has all these students and drives a Mercedes, and he's got a nice family.
I could have a Mercedes, jujitsu Mercedes. God fucking damn it! God damn it! I've been sold a pipe dream that isn't real. I make no money. God
You're
damn
doing
it.
something exciting and fun, and you don't. Or you could just be playing.
Then you just say that gaming is too fun. I'm just seeing a bit of correlating message here, Joe.
Fucking video games. 3 years later, you could be that same kid just playing video games, waiting for the next whatever the fuck game is, you know, next Xbox game to come out, and you're gonna waste your time.
You have children.
You gotta waste your time playing video games. Jiu-jitsu? Not a waste of time. I mean, I get what he's saying though. At least with jiu-jitsu, you're building your body, you're building your muscles. You're learning a skill that you're gonna have for life instead of a video game that comes out. You know, there's always a new cycle of games. Even if you get good at one, there's always gonna be a new one. I guess is my point. So I get it. I get his point. It's just like the worst example ever with jiu-jitsu. And that's another thing, like, you wouldn't even have to be good at gaming to make a living. Obviously, right? There's gaming compared to jiu-jitsu as a superior job, it's like the worst example you can make. You can make analytical content, reviews, streaming, YouTube, esports, managing. I like all these so much aspects of gaming, and it's such a massive market. Developing, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? I'm curious what Ninja said. Let's check out what Ninja said. And I guess that's the thing, like, who gives a shit what Joe Rogan has to say about video games? Like, no one cares. That's like what I would think about. I know I know everything about everything, so it's hard to think of an example. Makeup. That's like me saying makeup stupid. You cannot make money. Makeup doesn't happen. But I think it's the fact that everyone is talking about this that makes it so interesting, and his comment about wasting time. It's almost like Joe Rogan accidentally brought up the discussion of what is the meaning of life. Building a career for yourself, or you're making money and building something out of yourself, or just having fun in the moment and enjoying yourself. And that's almost how it became such a big deal. Let's see what Mr. Ninja said.
Most recent clip going on about Joe Rogan, his comment about video games or like gamers, and I think where he was coming from, or what he was talking about specifically. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but what I watched the whole thing and try to get context of it. I watched, you know.
I don't want to say it. Just say you fucking hate him, Ninja. Just say it. I won't put words in his mouth because I want to be invited to his podcast in the future. But I think maybe like what he meant was like that. I think I watched the whole clip and like I don't think he meant anything bad. Invite me to the podcast, Joe Rogan. Let's talk about games and shit. I love you, man.
Before and after the clip that was just, you know, being posted on Twitter, it sounds like he's talking about like the top 1%, like the very odd or one-off chance that you're going to be a professional player, an esports player, and a successful one at that, right? I mean, you can be a professional esports player and, you know, beyond like a tier 2, tier 3 org, which is not maybe paying you the most. And obviously if you're not winning and being paid a lot, you're not a big streamer, then you're not really making a lot of money. So I'm assuming he's just basically talking about, you know, the top 1%, you're winning every tournament, you're on a top organization.
Oh my god, jeez. All right, great response. So yeah, there was a Twitter bad, but yeah, I saw a bunch of comments as well. Quit gaming 8 months ago, bought a new car. I have an amazing new girlfriend. I make a shitload of money, and I'm buying a house this spring. I party every weekend. I'm never home. I enjoy and laugh. Do yourself a favor. Stop trying to make a gaming career. It's cringe as fuck. And of course, we have the contrast here. Quit my job 4 months ago. Bought a car. Got out of an unhealthy relationship. I make more money now playing video games. I also use my platform to bring awareness to mental health and bipolar. Life is great. Do yourself a favor. Stop being closed-minded. It's cringe as fuck. I wasted my time playing video games as a kid to such a degree that I wanted to know how to make them. I wasted time learning some coding, art, sound, and music, and now been wasting my life for nearly 30 years writing music for them, and companies waste lots of money paying me for it. Epic. Yeah, even though I kind of memed it already, I feel like it'd be so easy for me to come at Joe Rogan's statement and be like, yeah, Joe, you f***ing idiot. I make money playing video games. What the f*** you talk about, you dumb bitch? How can you be so stupid? He really just sounds like a boomer. I'm sure when I'm old and I'll have my podcast and I'll just go, yeah, these fucking kids, man. Back in my day, we played real games. Now these kids are playing VR, SMER. Real men back in my day, we played Fortnite, goddammit. We played Battle Royales, but they don't even know what that means. This is such a generational gap that's always existed. Even with novels, I'm sure people said like, oh, people wasting their time reading books. You should go out there in the real world, enjoy the real world. Fucking cringe. It's just a thing that's always been going on, and it's always gonna keep happening. But I also find it, yeah, I do find it kind of cringe with all the streamers going after Joe, being like, well, I make a living. He's so stupid. It feels kind of irresponsible almost to just say that, because I love the idea that I can inspire my audience, or I don't know, people in general, if they want to pursue YouTube and other gaming related things, like, yeah, go for it. But I don't want to sell people on the pipe dream that is possible for everyone, because it isn't. Just like any sport or profession, you have to be in that one top percent or 0.1 or whatever the percentage may be to really be successful at it, and it just doesn't happen to everyone. And that's just reality of life. Does that mean you shouldn't pursue your dreams? No, but I think it's important to have some perspective of what you're pursuing, at least. And I think especially when you're talking about something that is actually, like what Joe was saying, highly addictive. Like, the video games are dopamine hits, and having kids being so exposed to them for hours and hours, I can't honestly say that I think that's necessarily a good thing either. It kind of worries me as well a little bit when we design something to be addicted. And even myself as a kid, I was probably, yeah, looking back, I was definitely actually addicted to video games. And I think a lot of kids are. I think it's way more common than people think. So even though there's a ton of benefits to video games, like I read studies saying that it helps with logical thinking, like puzzle solving, I guess that's logical thinking, reaction time if you think that's important. Yeah, it can improve your memory, you can meet friends online, it can help you get out of mental health situations. There's a ton of positive benefits, but I think that doesn't make gaming above criticism. It seems like the gaming community is so sensitive to criticism. Like, just acknowledging that gaming addiction is a thing and that it is a problem, which I think is what Joe is trying to get at. He just brought up a terrible example, at least, I think. Yeah, invite me to your podcast, Joe. I love you. Come on, man. This is what it really meant, guys. It doesn't diminish all the good. You can talk about both. It's okay. You know, if gaming is your only hobby, I would invite you to try something else. It's fun. That's a fun thing about life. It's like what we talked about in the beginning. Is life about pursuing, trying to build something big for yourself, or just enjoying yourself? And I think personally, the answer is just a balance of both. To me, the idea of going through life being just feeling comfortable and feeling happy in the moment, being entertained, is terrifying. I hate that idea. I never want to live life just like that. But also, living life, when I look at people that are all about optimizing and trying to be as effective as possible and accomplish as much as possible, that makes me really disgusted as well. I think there's just a middle ground. I feel like I am, though, becoming more boomer across the years. Like, a few years ago, as you guys know, I got into reading a lot more, and I God, I sound like such a boomer. It's just like comparing that hobby, which is something you kind of have to force yourself a little bit to get into if you're not used to it, to something compared to video games. I mean, obviously it's different for everyone, and everyone gets different things out of different hobbies, but I can't honestly say I get that much out of video games compared to reading a book that I feel like, oh, I learned something. I actually got something out of this. Even if it's fiction, I can still, oh, cool. I could immerse myself in a character. I guess you can do that in games, but I don't think games are that good at it. I don't think they are. I can't remember last time I played a game and be like, oh, I learned something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are examples, but it just doesn't happen as often, is what I'm saying. I guess what I'm saying is find a balance. By all means, enjoy video games. It's a great hobby. It's super fun. It's fun to share with other people, and that's what made my job possible, and I couldn't be happier about it. But also find a balance. I think that's what makes life fun, doing different things. I don't know. I just thought this whole discussion was so interesting, and I'm curious what you guys think. Anyway, passing on the question to you guys. And that's it for Poppy Samoria today. And remember, keep gaming, gamers.
Children of 9 parts, it's time to raise what was once forgotten. What creatures, fart spells, and poop troops await? Poop D is coming to Nintendo Switch. And remember, it has a very big PP. Pre-order promotion, I mean. I am yes,